Where do you need to bring your attention to within your mind, the thoughts within your mind, the feelings that you're living through every day in order to obtain that relationship of your dreams? Let's look at that. What habits of thought do you have right now that are not allowing you to obtain that relationship of your dream? So it's examining all that and getting rid of the garbage, pulling out the weeds. If you want to think of your mind being, this garden bed, you want to make sure the soil is super fertile and in a sunny location, and that's what bringing to me awareness is really bringing light on the situation, on the thoughts, on the feelings. Welcome to I Think I Can podcast. My name is Luella Young. I am a woman who believes that we, like wine, get better with age. Age brings us wisdom, intuition, and a level of sophistication that is beyond the reach of youth. I am here to tell you that living a luxuriously rich and fulfilling life is in your reach. I Think I Can podcast will teach you to think differently in order to get different results. Allow me to show you how to do life effortlessly. This podcast is for the woman who is tired of playing by the rules of society, community, religion, parents, and partners. I Think I Can is all about becoming brave, authentic, purposeful, and strong. Listen weekly and you will find yourself living a life you could have only once dreamed of. Thoughts drive our physiology, so channel your thoughts with me into a life truly worth living. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to I Think I Can podcast. This is episode 43, and it's a solo episode this week. I just felt like I wanted to speak a little bit about a lot of different topics, actually. I want to speak about social media. I want to speak about coaching versus therapy. I want to speak about, I think the general theme is really authenticity. I think it comes down to showing up as yourself every day and striving to become a better person, which to me is more of a genuine, authentic person. And maybe touching a little bit about how to get to that point or how to obtain a specific goal that you have in life. So yeah, it's going to be a mismatch of lots of different things. So I guess the genesis of this solo episode came to me today when I was looking at various different profiles on Facebook. And I guess because I'm in the coaching world, I see a lot of profiles from coaches, and I realize that it can be a real turnoff, which is unfortunate, I feel, because coaches have a great place in our world. I personally have hired many different coaches over the past year, and they've made a real difference in my life. But there's a lot of things in that I think common things that I see with coaches that do not really speak about what I said I strive for, which is authenticity and being genuine in the way we show up. And I think again, that sort of dovetails a little bit, excuse me, on the whole social media thing, right? Like I said, I was on Facebook, and I think, no matter whether it's Facebook or Instagram or many of these other platforms, I think a lot of um, this lack of being authentic is how a lot of people show up. So, but before I dive into that, um, let's just I'm going to remind you of what I feel is sort of the difference between being a coach and in being a therapist, or what therapy is. I see coaching as, and, I'm sure there's many different definitions of this, but coaching is more stepping into um, a rather short-term agreement. It's normally a 3-month or a 6-month, or it could be a year. Um, and whereas therapy, it's sort of like, I mean, there's no real ending, right? I mean, you can, this is the way it is. I mean, I see a client one week, and then, perhaps 3 weeks later, perhaps the week after, and the following week after. But, it's really very sporadic. And I even tell people, I'm not going to give you, a schedule. I mean, you come in when you feel you need to come in. So I keep it very open. Sometimes sometimes they again bring the question back to me and ask, well, what do you think? And depending on what they came in for, I mean, sometimes I will say that I think at this stage right now, you need more of a dedicated um, schedule where we're going to look at it once a week or once every 2 weeks. But I mean, some people have financial considerations, in making that decision. And I totally understand that. And that's why I never want anybody to feel like, in order to be well, you need to come in for X number of sessions over a certain period of time. So, I leave it very open with therapy, but for coaching, someone is coming to me and saying, basically what they're saying is, I want to get to this goal, or, this is my purpose of coming here, and I want to do it in a shorter amount of time, or I want to do it in a specific amount of time. So they're very focused and very future, um, a vision of themselves over a certain period of time, and they want to sign up for that. And basically, yeah, we're entering an agreement together. um we're sort of in a partnership, if you want to call it, within that 3 or 6 month period, or whatever it is, 1 year period, where it's very intimate. And they don't consider me a psychotherapist or a PhD, or a doctor or anything like that. They just see me as a partner in transforming them from where they are now to where they want to go. And I'm available between the weekly calls, if they need me, to a certain extent, of course. But I'm much more available to them than, the once a week sort of thing. Um, and yeah, I think it's, most importantly, I feel like it's a very intimate relationship. I have their back, and they are investing in me, and together we go forward. And we know that we have a certain amount of time to get to where we want to go. So it really, I need as much from them almost in a sense than they need of me, rather than, therapy. They need a lot of me. But in this different partnership, a lot of the work obviously is going to be on their part if they want to go where they need to go. I will guide them, but they need to do the work, and they're signing up to do the work, and they're ready to do the work. There's no question in their mind. So that's just my take on coaching. So as you can see with that description, there's a lot of great things with it, and it's for certain people at a certain stage of their life. But yeah, I sort of got a little bit down, frustrated. I don't know, various emotions when I was sort of looking at profiles the other day on Facebook, and see how certain coaches show up, and I see a lot of, yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, fake, like kind of fake profiles out there, and I don't know what it is exactly. I mean, and these are just my opinions, right? These are just my thoughts right now. I'm putting this disclaimer out. You can take it or leave it. I mean, I'm not judging anybody, because that's just who I like to show up as. I mean, it's sort of, I can see why they're maybe doing it, and it's not necessary. I mean, people want, a genuine, authentic person, right? That's who they want to have a relationship with, whether that's a coaching relationship, whether that's, a therapist, whether that's your partner, your best friend. I mean, it's very attractive to have someone showing up as being genuine. And so this is sort of, yeah, I mean, even even doing even being an entrepreneur, or being in private practice, or having your own business, whatever that might be, I think that's also kind of a way of a person showing, this is who I am. This is how I show up in my business. I mean, just because you're a landscaper, it doesn't mean that all landscapers are the same, right? There's different kinds of landscaping businesses, and some, whether that's different hours or different types of jobs that they do, you have that opportunity to do whatever you want. Even myself, right? Like, I can come on a podcast and I can talk about, I mean, an episode, and I can talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. I can wear, a beautiful button down shirt, blouse, dress, or I can wear a t-shirt and a ball cap, for whatever I want to do. Um, I can interview whoever I want. I can interview someone as a health, that's a health expert, or someone that is a mindset expert, or someone that is a yoga teacher, or it's sort of, it's my party, and I can cry if I want to. I can do whatever I want, because because I'm interested in all these things. So I can run the show however I want. And to me, that's being genuine and authentic. I'm not going to interview someone just because it might, bring in more, I don't know, subscriptions or likes, or whatever that is. It's because it genuinely interests me. And I think that's one of my problems, is I'm interested in a lot of things. I shouldn't really call it a problem, because I never want to say that to my clients too. But there's nothing wrong with having a lot of interests. And because we also hear a lot about, dialing into your niche and things like that. But Yeah, I mean, in terms of a career, but it's okay to have a lot of different interests. I think that's, again, just the way you're showing up in life, and that's fine. So, yeah, I guess, when I look on social media, and what makes me really want to run in the completely opposite direction is, I don't know, certain images, like especially in the coaching world. I mean, I see a lot of, uh, I I don't know, especially women coaches, like beach photo shoots, and walking around in like these flowing garments, and um I don't know. Well, I mean, like, again, like, no judgment if that's the way you do most of your calls and things like that. That's great. I mean, I wish I had, who knows, maybe I'm jealous. Maybe I wish I had a beachfront property that, and just wore long flowing gowns all day long. I don't know. I also see a lot of coaches wearing hats. I mean, yeah, maybe you wear hats a lot, but um I don't know. I just I don't think you need to wear a hat if you want to be a coach, but, like, you know, our queen, may she rest in peace, wore hats a lot, and she did great work. So I'm not I'm not saying that you can't. It's just sort of like, I just think that people are showing up in a certain way because they depict this is what, what a coach does. But do they, I mean, I don't know. You can wear whatever you want. You can speak however you like. As long as you do great work, it doesn't really matter. As long as you really help the people that you need to help, it doesn't really matter. And again, that goes for any career. Sure. I mean, maybe in the corporate world, you can't show up in ripped jeans and a t-shirt. I get that. Um, but yeah, it speaks to the trade, right? You can do that if you're in the landscape business. You can run your own show, but I think people that, love wearing suits and button-up shirts and ties and dresses, they fit that career. And I think they're very happy wearing those things, right? It's just sort of like, just you do you. And I think that's the most important message I can give here. So, let's see. I think, you know, I see a lot of, again, getting back to certain profiles and certain messages that I'm seeing from the coaching world. It's sort of, there's a lot of the same promises, I think, sent out by thousands of profiles. And I just feel it makes it very difficult for a person to choose the appropriate coach out there. And you know sometimes I think they're also promising the world, and I think it's, you even see the emojis that are used in some of their messages. It's sort of emojis of the stars and the galaxies, and it's like they are some sort of sacral being sent from the moon or the universe. I don't know, but it seems it's a bit much sometimes. Um, but that's just me. Again, that's just me. There might be some people out there that really, that's the language they love to hear, and that's beautiful. But um as long as you're doing it because that feels good for you, and you're not doing it because you think this is what your audience needs, or is expecting. So that's the message. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this whole idea of authenticity and being genuine. We all know when we meet somebody who doesn't appear genuine, I guess. Like I think actually there are, like, let's say you just walk into a party or you meet a new group of friends somewhere, and there's something about this one person, I mean, we've all been there, that you're just going, "Oh my gosh, they're so annoying. Like, they're so annoying. Why is it?" And I think everybody's, well, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people out there with low self-worth or low self-esteem are somewhat scared about that being them. Like like they say to me, I'm very self-conscious of how I'm showing up in front of, other people. And there's nothing wrong with that to a certain extent. I mean, you don't want to be in someone else's space, or, I mean, in terms of like being too close to them, you have to watch your proximity. You have to be careful of the words you choose, the tone you choose. Um, but to, you know, to be yourself, that's what people want. And I think it's the opposite. If you are not yourself, that's what makes you annoying. I think when someone comes across to me as annoying, I think it's because they're not themselves. They're trying to be someone that they're not. Perhaps they're trying to be funny, when they're not. Maybe they just need to be more of a listener, and more quiet, and and that's what's going to make them special. People are going to see, oh wow, they're real listeners, and I love that. um they don't ask a lot of questions. They just seem to be much more interested in what I have to say, and I really love that. That's a breath of fresh air. I haven't been around someone like that in a long time. So that's just one example of you being you. Maybe you're more of an introvert. Maybe you are more of an extrovert. Maybe you use your hands a lot when you speak, and your volume is a little bit louder, but we need you as well in the group, right? You're the one that's probably also saying, "Hey, this is, I want to go here now. I want to check out this place." Maybe you're more of a leader in that way. And we all need leaders. We need people that are extroverted just as much as we need people that are introverts. So be yourself, and I think you're going to balance everybody else out in that room, because again, you are your own special little snowflake, and the world needs more of you being you. So yeah, i really I really like the idea of somebody coming to the realization of, this is who I want to be. This is the goal I want to strive for, and giving themselves permission to start going in that direction, getting the momentum, getting the courage to be themselves. Because that's what holds everybody back from being authentic, really, is that they're fearing something. They're fearing that if they post what they want to post, that someone is going to judge them or laugh at them. Oh, and here I am, right? I'm talking about posting and me judging certain coaches out there, but I there's something about their stuff that just you just know it's just not authentic. I mean, I think, like, don't take me the wrong way. If you're a very spiritual person and um or you're into astrology, whatever that might be, like, that is that's your jam, right? That you speak that way, you walk that way, you dress that way, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I just what my message is here is that I feel, you can feel when people are not being authentic and genuine, and they're doing it just because others are doing it, or their coach has done it, or their mentor does it a certain way. Therefore, they need to show up in that way. And the only reason I guess I say that, or I see it, is because that's what I mean. There's so many out there that all look the same way, post the same way, and I don't, there's something kind of questionable about all that. Um, so that, believe me, that's my point. I don't mean to be judging anyone out there who's genuine and authentic. That's not the purpose here. I just really want to stress that. It's getting back to what I was saying before. It's you post something. I think, okay, so getting back to social media, it was in what our fears are. Like, I've been there because I've only, I don't know, and I even think I had some pride in that at one time, that, I don't advertise anything on social media. It was basically my website, and I kind of spoke to my people through my blog post on my website. And that was the only thing I did. But after, I guess, getting into more of the coaching world and taking some courses with some excellent coaches and mentors, that they showed me that social media can be used a different way, because I was all in this therapy mode, right? And I saw what social media has done to some of my clients in terms of making them really spiral down, rather than, looking within and looking at all their beautiful qualities within. They allowed some post to, take them down in terms of their happiness and their peacefulness. So I saw it as a bad thing. But after I was coached in ways of how social media can actually be a very beautiful thing, I I am still working on seeing it differently, but I do see it differently now. I see, like, for myself, I feel like Facebook is sort of a place where I get support. I have some excellent groups that I'm a part of that I get support from. But I also, like, I'm just sort of posting a lot of my my business thoughts more, I guess, my kind of taking from my blogs content and putting it more on Facebook posts, so that if it falls on the eyes of someone who needs, that message or that meaning that day, then they see it, which is wonderful. And maybe that's what they needed that day. And in fact, I do get that from my clients too. Sometimes they send me stuff that they found on Facebook, and they would say, I just wanted to show you this. I really needed this today, whether that be a quote, a saying, a message, whatever that is. It helped them that day. So that's a beautiful thing. And it's free, and it's at our fingertips. Um, and Instagram for me, I don't know, Instagram is lighter for me. It's funner, it's lighter. It's where I, kind of share more of me on a more of a personal basis. Even though all my podcasts are posted on Instagram and Facebook, and but yeah, maybe there's more personal images of me there, or reels. I'm still learning all that kind of stuff. It's still super scary. Um, but I'm just like you, trying to push past all my fears surrounding that. And because at the end of the day, it's just a message, it's just a post, it's not you, I guess, right? It's anyway. But so, and like, I know there's a lot of criticisms. Well, okay, I hear that all the time too. It's sort of like, okay, I don't need to see your lunch today. I don't. And so, like, for those people that post, their lunch, or the fact that they were in this location this afternoon, we don't all need to see that. But I think if this image, this lunch, this dinner, this food really made you kind of stop in your tracks that day, and say, I really am enjoying this moment right now, then post it. Right? It could be, you were at a football game with your friends, and it was a great, you were just in the moment, and you were just loving it, and it made you kind of stop and go, man, I am just feeling so happy right now. This is amazing. Yes, post it. I think that's a great memory for you, right? Down the line. That's, to me, why we do it. I mean, and then you understand a lot. You get a better idea of who this person is too. For example, if you see a lot of, I know certain Instagram profiles are all of flowers or all of nature. Like, personally, I mean, I love nature so much that that's what stops me in my tracks sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, look at the beauty of that rose, or look how this daisy looks, or look at how intensely green the leaves are right now, and how deep, what a deep blue is in the sky right now. Or it might be an animal, and all the beauty of that animal. And so that's me. So you're going to see a lot of those kind of images on my profile. Or, I mean, the beauty of like fresh vegetables, and yeah, and like, when we talk about trying to have the rainbow of colors on our plates, in order to get all the different phytochemicals and nutrients from all those foods. I mean, it is a work of art sometimes when you see, to me anyway, those vegetables and all their different colors, coming out at me. It truly is a rainbow for me. So I'm not posting that because people see me as, a certified functional medicine practitioner, and I post it because I love it. I love it. That's who I am. And, but, if I make an awesome, like, dessert one day, there's not a whole lot of nutrition on there. in there, I'm going to post that too. Um, so yeah, it's just, again, just do you, and you don't have to worry about being judged by anybody, nor should you be judged by anybody for you being you. Um, but yeah, I guess I again, because I see um, a lot of the ill effects of social media, that being everything from people can feel extremely alone if they're looking through their feeds and seeing, friends are doing this, or people are out having fun. Like, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not posting um a really bad moment for myself either. Whether that's, I don't know, you know, some sort of disagreement that I've had that day with somebody, or um, you know, pouring rain, or like a huge snowstorm. I mean, that can be also amazing, but not, yeah, I'm not posting about 7 days in a row of gray skies, and you know, I'm not 100% authentic either in my postings. I'll fully admit that, but it's I think when you see, like, the purpose of it maybe is more so like, I'm joyful right now and I want to share my joy with others. It's not to make someone else feel bad that they're not happy right now. Um, we should be thankful and appreciative of that person having a joyful moment, and sharing that with others, because that's a vibe, right? That's an energy that a person has. That's a frequency that they're on, and to share it with others is, sharing that higher energy, which is going to hopefully create like more of that energy in the room. um if we all did that, with that sort of intention of not, look at me, look where I am, right? And right now, it's more like, no, I'm so joyful right now, and I want to share this with other people. And it's not the intention of bringing other people down. That's where the onus is on us, right? We have to take responsibility for our feelings. And if we feel somewhat jealous with that post, or with that share, then we have to look inside and try to figure out, like, okay, why was that a trigger for me? And do something about that, because that's a low energy that we're feeling right now. Jealousy, or even sadness, or why can't we be happy for that other person, right? I mean, I personally struggle with that sometimes when I see people's, postings, like, oh, I just wish I only, like, why can't I, be there or have that, or but it should instead give you more of, a focused awareness and an intention on, what do you want? If you want that, then what are you doing right now in your life in order to obtain that? And how does your mind need to behave, or where should you be focusing your awareness within your mind? This is all about building a certain mindset, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, carving out a certain mindset that's going to allow you to get what you want out of life, and have what they want. Putting the onus and the responsibility back on yourself, because ultimately we are responsible for all our feelings. It seems kind of unfair sometimes. It's like, really? Like this is my work, but yeah, it is. It is your work. And it's not easy. If you want to change your reality, you have to start by changing your thoughts and your feelings. The feeling, the emotions are the drivers of like it's the energy. It's the energy in your body. When you experiencing joy, you feel lighter. You just feel like open and expressive. When you're feeling sadness or discontent or hopelessness or helplessness, like your whole body, like your body posture changes, your shoulders get drawn in, your head drops. It's a low energy field. So we need to be, first of all, aware of that's happening, and then switch it. Bring in thoughts that bring you joy in that moment. When you're looking at that post and you're just like feeling icky, about it, like just ask yourself, like, what are the thoughts that are driving this icky feeling right now that I have in me? Is it jealousy? Is it hopelessness that I'm never going to have what they have? Is it fear that I'm not the type of person that can have that? Because if those are what's bringing you all the low energy, you have to realize that none of that is true. You have the potential, the human that you are, to have whatever they have if you're willing to do the work. And it can be work because for a lot of people, focusing or being aware of our awareness in how our thoughts are, being directed, and what we're placing our focus on. Are we placing it on unhappy thoughts throughout the day, thoughts of gloom and doom and fear and anxiety? And if that is you, then you need to get out of that thought pattern, because it's not serving you to obtaining your goal. It's going to keep you where you are right now. Like, for example, I had a gentleman come in, the other day. This is just randomly popping in my head, but he was, close to midlife, I guess you could say. So the late 40s, 50s or whatever. And his knee was kind of bummed out. I mean, he had to get some surgery done on it. But he's not taking care of his health. And I had to ask him, why are you not, like, consulting the surgeon, or, just like going into your doctor, like doing the actions that need to be taken right now in order to take care of yourself. And his sort of mindset was, I'm here for, not a long time, so just a good time. So really, like, not really doing much in his finances in terms of, making sure that he's stable with his finances after retirement and things like that. Not this forward mindset, right? Not this growth mindset. He was kind of giving up on himself in some ways, ignoring his future. And when I brought it to his attention that, you're focusing on all these thoughts of your life ending sooner than later. Why would you do that when you're the driver of your life? I mean, your lifestyle, you know, taking care of yourself. I mean, on a very basic level, it's like, having your yearly physical and getting the certain procedures done that you need to get done, because who says, you can't have an amazing life, post retirement, and building wonderful relationships, including relationships with your family and seeing your grandchildren. I mean, his kids meant a lot to him. So I didn't understand that. Um, but it was sort of a belief in himself, right? Like when I'm talking about developing a strong mindset, I think I'm also speaking towards really zoning in and focusing on what is your goal? What do you want? For some people, that's an amazing relationship because, everything else or most of everything else in their life is going really well. Maybe their career, maybe they're very, very happy. Maybe they're living in the home of their dreams and, in an area of their dreams. And, yeah, they have fantastic health, and it's really just okay. It's just your relationship. Then let's focus on it. What sort of mindset do you have to create? Where do you need to bring your attention to within your mind? The thoughts within your mind, the feelings that you're living through every day in order to obtain that relationship of your dreams. Let's look at that. What habits of thought do you have right now that are not allowing you to obtain that relationship of your dream? So it's examining all that and getting rid of the garbage, pulling out the weeds. If you want to think of your mind being, this garden bed, you want to make sure the soil is super fertile and in a sunny location, and that's what bringing to me awareness is, really bringing light on the situation, on the thoughts, on the feelings that go in and out of your mind, on a minute to minute basis. I mean, we this is a very difficult thing to do. We have to practice this, but opening up your awareness on what thoughts and feelings you have, throughout the day is very, very powerful, because your thoughts and your feelings that you're experiencing throughout the day shows up as your reality in life. So again, depending if I'm not sure if your goal is health, whether it's wealth, building up your finances to a point of, that you feel is going to bring you peace and relaxation, then whatever that is, figure it out, figure out what you want, and then develop the mindset that goes behind that. And there's help for that, right? That's something that I love to help my clients work at. And I'm sure there's other people in your world that are more than willing to help you do that and get you to an area of, or to a level of happiness or joy that you sometimes dream of, but don't actually believe it's there for you. And I would 100% disagree with that. I think we all have incredible potential to elevate our lives past what they are right now. And you won't believe that you can get that until you get it, unfortunately. But you do it in baby steps. And you have there's going to be patience and trust and faith that's necessary in obtaining that goal. You need to have faith and trust in yourself, mainly in yourself, but also within your coach or mentor or whoever you want as your guide. It could be, I don't know, could be anybody, maybe it's a grandparent for you, or maybe it's some shaman somewhere. I don't know, but just open yourself up to the possibilities. Try to view yourself and your life in a different way. Dream. They always say, dream big, but it's true. There's nothing stopping you unless you're allowing something to stop you. Determination, a determined mindset. Motivation, to me, motivation might be small to begin with, but that's the laddering of goals, like starting small. And when you see that you've achieved the change in a small, minute way, you'll realize that it's no different from the, that change, that belief that you had to question about yourself, and then see that you actually can do it. That doesn't matter. You have that same belief in yourself with that small goal, then compared to the big goal, nothing changes. Once you get the belief, it's there. It's there. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. So, with that, I think I will call it a day, and I hope that this episode sheds some light on authenticity, on social media, on belief in yourself, and knowing that you are the driver of your life. You really are. You just have to believe in yourself and know that you can 100% get anything you desire. Because the fact that you desire it means that it's already there. It's already created. It's there. It's just waiting for you to make the first steps. So have a great week, everyone. And I'm looking forward to meeting you back here next week. Bye-bye. Thanks once again for joining me on another great episode of I Think I Can podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And until next week, treat each day like it was your last, because each new day is a privilege that we shan't take for granted. Cheers and have a great week. Bye-bye.